For more than 6 decades, Mick Jagger stood as one of the most electrifying figures in music history. From sold-out stadium tours to unforgettable performances that defined generations, the legendary frontman of the Rolling Stones became a symbol of energy, rebellion, and endurance. Fans around the world believed he was unstoppable. Even as the years passed and fellow rock stars slowed down, Jagger continued performing with the same swagger and passion that made him famous in the 1960s. But now, shocking reports surrounding a tragic diagnosis and emotional farewell have left millions of fans fearing that the end of an era may finally be near. According to sources close to the music icon, the last several months have reportedly been filled with difficult medical consultations, emotional conversations with family members, and serious discussions about the future of his career. While official details remain private, insiders claim the legendary singer has been quietly battling serious health concerns behind the scenes. The news stunned fans because Jagger has long projected an image of strength and resilience. Even after previous health scares, he returned to the stage with astonishing energy, proving critics wrong again and again. This time, however, many believe the situation feels very different. Friends close to the rock legend say Jagger has become increasingly reflective about his life and legacy. The singer, who once seemed to live entirely for the spotlight, has reportedly spent more time with his children, longtime friends, and loved ones in recent months. Those closest to him describe emotional private moments in which he discussed the possibility of stepping away from the demanding world of touring forever. For fans who grew up watching him command stadium crowds with endless energy, the idea of Mick Jagger saying goodbye is almost impossible to imagine. The emotional reaction across social media has been overwhelming. Fans from every generation began sharing memories of concerts, favorite songs, and personal stories about how Jagger's music shaped their lives. Many described him as more than a performer. To them, he represented freedom, confidence, and survival. Younger artists also joined the flood of tributes, praising the legendary frontman for inspiring countless musicians over the years. The possibility that one of rock music's greatest icons could finally be preparing for a farewell has created a wave of sadness throughout the entertainment world. What makes the situation even more emotional is Jagger's incredible history of overcoming adversity. Throughout his career, he survived controversies, intense public pressure, exhausting tours, and numerous health concerns that might have ended another artist's career decades earlier. In 2019, fans feared the worst when he underwent heart valve surgery, forcing the Rolling Stones to postpone major tour dates. At the time, many believed his performing days might finally be over. Yet only months later, Jagger shocked the world by returning to the stage with astonishing vitality, dancing and performing as if nothing had happened. That comeback became one of the most inspiring moments of his later career. It reminded fans why Mick Jagger was considered one of the greatest performers in music history. Even younger artists struggled to match the energy he displayed in his late 70s. Concert footage went viral online as people marveled at his stamina, movement, and charisma. Critics, who once questioned whether the Rolling Stones should retire, were suddenly forced to admit that Jagger still possessed a rare connection with audiences that few performers could replicate. However, insiders now claim that behind the scenes, the physical toll of decades of performing may finally be catching up with him. Touring at such an intense level requires enormous stamina, especially for someone who has spent more than 60 years performing energetic live. Reports suggest doctors advise the singer to seriously reconsider the demands of global touring and constant travel. While no official retirement announcement has been made, sources say Jagger has privately acknowledged that his health must now take priority over his career. The emotional weight of this moment is especially significant because the Rolling Stones themselves have become more than just a band. They are considered living history within the world of music. Songs like Paint It Black, Gimme Shelter, Angie, and Satisfaction helped define entire generations and influenced artists across nearly every genre imaginable. Mick Jagger's voice, stage presence, and larger-than-life personality became inseparable from the identity of rock and roll itself. For many fans, imagining music without Mick Jagger actively performing feels like imagining rock history coming to a close. Sources also claim that Jagger has been quietly organizing personal matters and spending more time reflecting on the extraordinary journey of his life. Friends describe him as deeply grateful for the love he has received from fans over the decades. Despite his fame and fortune, insiders say he remains emotionally connected to the audiences that supported him from the beginning. Some even claim the singer became emotional while discussing how much performing meant to him personally. Music was never just a career for Mick Jagger, it became his identity. The possibility of a farewell has also reignited public discussions about the incredible legacy of the Rolling Stones. Formed in the early 1960s, the band survived changing musical trends, cultural revolutions, and the tragic loss of original members while continuing to fill stadiums worldwide. Many believed their success would fade as musical tastes evolved, yet decade after decade, the Stones somehow remained relevant. Their concerts became legendary celebrations of endurance and timeless music. At the center of it all stood Mick Jagger, whose unique charisma helped transform the band into global icons. Fans have especially focused on the emotional symbolism of the word goodbye. For years, rumors about final tours and retirement surrounded the Rolling Stones, but the band always returned with another album or new performances. This time, however, the tone surrounding Jagger's situation feels far more serious and personal. Rather than simply ending a tour cycle, sources suggest the singer may truly be confronting the reality that his body can no longer withstand the intense demands of life on stage. Entertainment insiders say conversations about a final public appearance or farewell performance have reportedly taken place behind closed doors. While nothing has been confirmed, speculation continues to grow about whether fans could eventually witness one last emotional concert from the legendary singer. If such a performance happens, it would almost certainly become one of the most historic moments in modern music history. Millions of fans across the globe would likely view it not just as a concert, but as the closing chapter of an extraordinary era. Those closest to Jagger reportedly say he remains determined to stay positive despite the difficult circumstances. Even while facing uncertainty, the singer is said to maintain his famous sense of humor and strong spirit. Friends describe him as emotionally resilient, refusing to allow fear to define his remaining years. That attitude has only deepened public admiration for the rock legend. Throughout his life, Mick Jagger built a reputation for defying expectations, and many fans still hope he may once again surprise the world. At the same time, others believe the singer deserves peace after spending most of his life under intense public scrutiny. Since becoming famous in the 1960s, nearly every aspect of Jagger's life has been analyzed by the media, from his relationships and lifestyle to his performances and business decisions. Yet despite decades of pressure, he remained one of the most recognizable and influential entertainers on earth. Many fans now feel the greatest way to honor him is to respect whatever decision he ultimately makes regarding his future. The music industry itself has also begun reflecting on how enormous Jagger's impact truly was. Countless performers borrowed elements of his stage style, fashion choices, and fearless confidence. Some artists openly modeled their careers after him, hoping to capture even a fraction of the magnetism he displayed on stage. Without Mick Jagger, many believe modern live performance culture would look completely different today. His influence stretched far beyond rock music and shaped entertainment as a whole. As rumors continue to spread, many supporters remain hopeful that reports surrounding the tragic diagnosis may not be as severe as feared. Others simply want transparency from official representatives, so speculation can finally end. Until then, uncertainty continues fueling emotional reactions online. Some fans refuse to believe Jagger could ever truly retire, while others are preparing themselves emotionally for the possibility that his legendary career may finally be approaching its final chapter. What remains undeniable is the extraordinary emotional connection audiences feel toward Mick Jagger. Few celebrities in history maintained global relevance for so many decades while continuing to inspire entirely new generations of fans. His music crossed cultural and generational boundaries in ways few artists ever achieve. Whether performing in small clubs during the early days of the Rolling Stones or headlining massive stadiums decades later, Jagger always possessed a rare ability to command attention the moment he stepped onto a stage. Now, as the world waits for clarity about his future, fans everywhere are reflecting on the memories he created throughout an unforgettable career. For some, Mick Jagger represents the sun. For others, he symbolizes resilience, reinvention, and artistic freedom. Regardless of age, millions recognize that artists like him appear only once in a lifetime. If this truly becomes the moment Mick Jagger says goodbye, it will mark far more than the end of another celebrity career. It will represent the closing of one of music's most iconic chapters. The voice, movement, attitude, and energy that helped shape modern rock culture may finally be preparing for a final bow. And while the world may